Just like I said I would, I have come to Sultan Sanctuary. Oh man, this actually kind of broadcasting this game actually squeezes the the screen a little bit smaller. Hey, how you doing? Just finished Mafia 3 today, so I'm moving on to Sultan Sanctuary, and like I've probably already said, I really like this game. It is a really fun, really cool game. It's extremely inexpensive too. And for the most part, it doesn't even show the kind of cheapness or anything. It doesn't even show. This is a pretty fucking top tier game. Like it's really well done. Um, Now it's a Souls like, so it's got its issues. Uh, we're gonna see plenty of those as we go throughout the game. We're gonna see fucking plenty. This is just character creation. It is very in depth. There is a lot that you can do, but it's mostly just like stuff on the outset of the character. Like it's really just aesthetic stuff. It's not even stuff that you can't really change the size of your character's body or anything like that. The shape. If you're a female character, you're not gonna have very big breasts or anything. You just can't do that. Um, so really, male or female doesn't make too much of a difference. Um, you really can barely tell. Uh, this is really interesting. There are apparently a bunch of regions in this world, and this area that we're going to be in for the actual game. Look, there's actually creatures that aren't even like human. Look, creatures from Gulchmire, and then there's the Tristan. Oh God, you don't look human. Um, there's the Kulkaas. There is, yeah, here we go, Jindarin. You get that? It's pretty crazy. Um, but yeah, all this stuff is aesthetics only. It doesn't really change much about your character. Um, yeah, guess you just choose. I mean, there's not even like stat differences as far as I can tell, unless there are stat differences and they just didn't fucking tell anybody. But as far as I can tell, there aren't any um, big stat differences or anything like that. I usually choose Coast Rock if I'm going with a character like this because your skin is paler. It's really bright. I like that. Um, I deleted all my other characters that I had, so I'm definitely gonna go with a female character. I like playing these female characters more often than not in RPGs. And I've never played with a character as a character with a mohawk. That'd be interesting. Ooh, that's an interesting haircut. Antimian. That's fucking hideous. I like that bandit shave. That's interesting. Fucking, there's the Sora or the Cloud Strife. I like this one's nice. That's the one I had before. Ooh, top knot. Probably once you do this, once you make this decision, by the way, you can't change it. So you better make your fucking decision and be happy with it, because that's the only one you get. Let's go with this one. I like it. It's bearable. And then we're gonna go with yeah. Your origin really doesn't have much to do with anything. It doesn't change much. No stats. No nothing like that. Um, the, what you start out with, though, your starting stuff does actually change stats. Like this, you'll start out with some stats into crossbow and pistol and what's that, whip. This you'll start out with some in what was that, cleric? Yeah, you'll start out with some in faith, and then there's heavy armor right there. It actually shows you. You see those white icons above all the inventory, the starting inventory. It shows you. Those are the skills that you'll start out with stuff, with put stuff already put into it. Of course, Pauper starts out with nothing. I wouldn't recommend that though. It's just fucking stupid. The chef is even stupider. There's no reason to do that. You start out with skill and knife, heavy armor, and was that light armor then? Yeah, that's light armor. You start out with cleric. You start out with skill and mace, and then the heavy armor. This is you start out with a skill in wands. There are two different mediums for using magic in this game. There's wands. Well, there's three actually. There's wands, there's staffs, and then there's things called incantations, which are technically magic spells, but they're spells that anyone can use without without a wand or a staff. Then there's the knight with heavy armor and the sword. Swords are badass. The best weapon in this game is actually not a great sword or anything like that, even though I will be using great swords because they do absolutely kick-ass damage against everything, and there's no reason to play with any other weapon other than the great sword as one of your backup weapons at the least, and then you can fuck around with any other weapon you want. You just better get your ass a great sword because there's no reason not to have one. But normal swords, and you have to go through normal swords to be able to upgrade to great swords, because when you upgrade normal swords or sword fighter, it upgrades both normal swords and great swords. There is a sword in the game that's a poison sword, and it's like a level 3 poison sword, so you at least have to have level 3 in swords to use it, and that motherfucker is badass. Not only does it have amazing damage, and it has really good stun lock against the enemies, or stagger against the enemies, but it poisons really fast. Fucking awesome. But we're going to start out as a mage. And when it comes to effects, don't start with red shards because that's a waste. Don't start with a stone sellsword or the amber idol or the crystal sphere. Always start with the grasping ring. The grasping ring, what does it do? I forgot what it does, but it's the best thing to start out with. I'll figure it out once I get into the game. Then don't start out with a challenge either, because this shit is ridiculous. Look at this: no healing, no blocking, naked, or only iron pot, only magic, only hardcore mode. None of this shit is fun. It's just, it's just shit that's gonna piss you off, especially if it's your first playthrough. So let's fucking do it. Venture forth. Venture forth as the wolf. Oh, I should have made her eyes white. That would have been cool. They're red instead. Okay, this world has known war for centuries, but peace is finally preciously near. We've delivered the princess to the kingdom across the sea where a marriage alliance would save us all. Failing this mission will surely plunge us into darker days. So that's pretty much all you get for a story. It's fucking bare bones to the max. It's terrible. Damn, it's been a while since I played this game. Yeah, it's absolutely bare bones, and that's all you're gonna fucking get. Remember, this game is replicating the Souls style, so you're not gonna get much story. So anyway, your square is your basic attack. Triangle is your more powerful attack. If you do a square triangle, you'll do that kind of lift up attack. That is only useful against certain types of enemies. It is not useful against every enemy. It's only useful against enemies that are affected by being able to be knocked into the air like that. But if you can get them to go into the air, you can combo them in the air and do all kinds of shit like that. By pressing R1, you can switch between two states. These are two hand states, basically. So one hand will have the saltwood branch, which is my wand and my weapon, and the other one I dual wield, as you see right there. Toggle one hand, two hand at the bottom right there next to the triangle. I dual wield my arming sword. Over here you can utilize charms whenever you have a sword like that, but whenever you equip a wand, like I unequip this stuff. So if I was to equip an arming sword, I have an option to equip a charm. But if I equip... And by the way, you can only equip certain things to certain hands. Like, one hand is deliberately for melee weapons like this. Another hand is for wands and pistols and stuff like that. So I can equip the saltwood branch, and then I can equip a magic spell to go with the saltwood branch. But if I do that, I cannot equip a charm, as you see. It only allows me to equip that. But if I do that, then I can go to charms. So you can't have a magic... you can't have a weapon imbued with a charm and a magic weapon in the same kind of hand state. You can have them in two different hand states, but you can't have them in the same hand state, as you see right there. So now I have two different hand states. If I use L2, I can utilize my magic, and if I use R2, I can roll. This is your unified roll move. Now L2 is used as your optional weapon, so if I had like a pistol, I'd be able to utilize on my pistol as well. You saw me hold like that. You can hold the attack button to do more damage and do a heavier hit, but it is basically fucking worthless. Don't do that. There's usually no reason to do that sort of thing. You can crack this shit open and occasionally you'll find money and stuff like that. And you'll just be able to walk over the money. It's not like with certain items you'll have to pick them up. But you'll just be able to walk over the money. What else? This is the beginning of the game. Alright, the rest of the stuff we'll figure out as we go on. So, let's move. Oh, you there, stranger. We've been boarded in the night. Oh, they'll want to kidnap our lady. Ow! Ransom her. Oh! Fuck you. Okay, that was weird. He was able to hit me for some reason. But he shouldn't have been able to. So, as you can see, what I just did there was a block. Blocking is, of course, affected by the same shit it was in Dark Souls. It's stamina based, so if they hit you too many times, it'll break your block. And then there are certain weapons that will not block 100% when it comes to like this. I select this by pressing X, my sword, and then I press square for the info to change to this. As you can see, it shows you the attack, what it scales with. Scaling just means that it does more damage if you have a higher level in strength or dexterity is what that means. And then it has weight is 4.0. It's a class 0 sword, so any class can wield it. If it's a class 0 weapon at any point, at any time, any class can wield it. Now, this sword can't defend for shit, so obviously you're not going to use it to defend yourself, because if they hit you, they'll actually do damage to you. It'll just be reduced damage. There is a very, very key ability that you have in the game, which is this. Whenever you hold your block up and you press square, you'll be able to parry attacks. Now, the timing is very precise, and on certain enemies, I'm pretty sure you can't do it at all. So I don't even try it. It's just very particular enemies, usually the knights that we'll come up against in the broadcast. You'll see me do a lot of parrying, and that opens up an opportunity to do a counter attack and do a lot of damage. So you can grab ledges in this game, by the way. You can't just jump up to it, and you can't simply hold up or anything. So you gotta press forward. I usually press diagonally forward, but I would stick to pressing forward. I think the diagonal thing is just me. Alright, let's get up here and see the rest of these fuckers die. You can't save those guys. As soon as you get to them, they get murdered. Like, you're just supposed to see these fuckers get ganked. Fucker. Huh. Stab you. Stab you. You see that? You see how I held it down and it still just did 6 damage? It didn't do any more than that. Let's try a parry. Oh, failed. Oh, the gold went away. You can move the camera around by using the right stick, like that. Usually you're not going to need it, though. Come on, dickhead. Fucking pirates. Butt pirates. Coming here to claim our butts. This is pretty Castlevania-esque. I mean, it's usual, side-scroller stuff. You see how if I just hold straight, or I hold to the left, I'll go up the stairs. If I hold diagonally left, I'll go past them. Pretty simple shit. You guys aren't dumb. You've played these kind of games before. Now, this enemy, the Unspeakable Deep, you can actually win this fight. I have done it before, but I haven't done it on my first playthrough. Look, I got fucked up immediately. Yeah, I clearly haven't played this game in a while. Failing this mission would surely plunge us into darker days. I woke to the sounds of waves washing on rock, and I knew I was alive. I must find the princess. Got my ass kicked by the Unspeakable Deep. You can win that fight and you unlock a trophy for it. I forgot what else they give you. I don't think it's anything like really profound. I didn't remember what it was. Alright, so let's go up the beach here. The Shivering Shore. Well, hello there. You're just a fleshy bit of flotsam washed ashore with the rest of us, hmm? You'll want shelter, you'll want sanctuary, but what is a sanctuary without faith? There's an empty sanctuary up the beach. You can claim it for your creed. Tell me, do you keep the new gods? When he asks you that, say fucking no. The new gods suck ass. You don't keep the new gods? Rare. So, are you a pilgrim of Devara? Your sword has been dying out for centuries, I'm afraid. When he asks you, are you a pilgrim of Devara, say yes. Followers of the goddess of light worship Devara, deity of humility, kindness, and forgiveness. Her creed is perhaps the oldest known creed, though this could be a coincidence of its cleric's meticulous record keeping. Are you a pilgrim of Devara's light? Of course, say yes. A follower of the goddess of light, your journey will be difficult. Accept this earthen vessel, it will bring Devara's blessing to the vacant sanctuary ahead. So he gives you the earthen vessel. How this game's saving mechanic works is that you utilize these icons of the gods that you worship to pray at these sanctuaries. And this is just basic developer shit. It's just telling you how to do stuff. These are a common enemy in the game. These fucking salt... I forgot. What are they called? I'll look them up. Hold on. Fucking salt zombies. Let's go here. Beastery. What are they called? The Unspeakable Deep, that evil fucker. He's a kraken. A kraken. That's those are an enemy in the game that you will run into a lot. They're specific creatures, and they have like this weird origin. Like they're tied to this land. It's weird. The Rotten Walker. That's what it is. It's just a drowned human. People being drowned is a very is a theme that keeps coming up in the game. Of course, open that up with O. We get the sanctuary key. Run on over here. Fuck these messages. Open this door. This is a sanctuary. Sanctuaries will usually be dim like this the first time you come to them. You have to equip the earthen vessel. So if I unequip it, you can see I have these packs right here. These are my item slots. Down here, these are incantation slots. Very important. You'll need those later. Let's go to earthen vessel, and we're going to go ahead and select to use R1 to place it, because you use R1 to utilize items. All right, and you get this big boob statue. That's probably a representation of Devara. Pray at her statue. Now, the reason I say get the earthen vessel and use Devara is because she has the most badass healing item in the entire fucking game. The other gods wish that they had this fucking healing item. I don't care if it's the motherfuckers of fire and sky. I don't care if it's the motherfuckers who worship that fucking what are the other things? The fucking gold, the bastards of wealth and all that shit. Fuck them. Devara has the absolute... I've tried them, guys. I've tried them, I'm telling you. I've tried other people's healing items. They suck dick. Devara's is the best. Absolutely the best. So anyway, you can level up. I don't have enough salt. You can see your salt and your gold at the bottom left corner down there. And then you can also see there's a little icon next to the gold that looks like a pillar of salt, and it has a kind of an arrow up. The reason that is because of this, the grasping ring. Remember I told you to get that? If we go into it, you can see that it increases salt obtained from slain enemies. So it's like the ring of avarice or whatever in Dark Souls that gives you more souls when you kill enemies. Now I wish it did that badass like flame above your head like one of the rings. In one of the Souls games you get a flame above your head when you wear the ring of avarice. Or is it the silver dragon ring that gives you more souls? I think in Demon Souls it was the ring of avarice, and then in Dark Souls it was the silver dragon ring. I don't fucking know, whatever. It's been a while. All right, so you can make an offering, and what that means is you get these little statuettes throughout the game. If you make an offering to them, whatever the statuette represents will come to your sanctuary. So blacksmiths, alchemists, I'll tell you about them later. Mages, stuff like that, where you can buy new shit. Merchants, you'll be able to get statues and bring them to your sanctuary that way. The tree of skill, of course, is obviously the way to unlock different skills. You will need black pearls to do this, to unlock these new skills, and you get black pearls by leveling up. You're just awarded them. Now, I can't purchase anything or remove anything. To remove a skill, you need gray pearls, and as you can see in the top right corner, where that little purple black ball is, those are black pearls, and then one next to it is gray pearls, obviously. You can press square to come in and out. So that's pretty much that, but I'll get into that as we go on. So for now, let's just move on. Go up here. There's always going to be some shit to open up. Some gold. And a chest. That gets you pouch of salt and red shard. A pouch of salt is exactly what the souls are in Dark Souls and Demon Souls when you get souls to be able to do like a fucker. When you get souls to be able to just like drop a soul and level up a little bit, that's what that is. That's what a pouch of salt is. A pouch of salt. So don't utilize it unless you really need it, because otherwise you'll probably die and lose it. These are dead players. Whenever you see that, it's other dead players who have died in this area, and they are strung up in certain areas when they die. That happens occasionally. It doesn't happen in every area, I don't think, but man, it's pretty fucking morbid. But you notice you can roll past enemies. That's very important for the first boss of the game, because you're gonna have to be able to do that. So you just obviously just get to the enemy and roll past them. There's something that you can do that's really specific to every weapon, which is pretty cool. It's if you attack the enemy and you hold up, some weapons will have specific attacks like that, whereas if I just do my normal combo, it just does that. But if I hold up, you'll have that kind of thing. So it does more damage, and they're very specific. They get specific animations for certain attacks when you hold up. You'll notice I'm not using my magic, and it's for a very specific reason. You'll notice I'm keeping this motherfucker out because I can just attack through the ground. Yeah, these rotten walkers will fold out of the ground occasionally. Now, you see that right there, those shining things? Obviously, those are items. You go up and press circle on them. Now, gold will disappear, but items do not disappear unless you, I think, do something very specific, like completely leave the area or something. But for the most part, you'll still be able to access items. Aw, fuck you. I didn't know he could hit me. Combo, bitch. Ooh, nice combo. Huh. I've never noticed that. I never did that. Like, 2 squares, 2 triangles. That's interesting. Never saw that animation. Go in here. Grab that. Pouch of salt. Over here. Roll past that. Cut down this bookcase. Get some money. Oh shit. Got an asshole. Cut him open. Double slash that fucker. Drop down and get this. Birian fire pot. It's important to know that some walls are false walls, so you'll go up and press circle on them, and you'll be able to open up the wall. And, cut you down. You'll be able to open up the wall and utilize and you know, explore some more shit. Cut these fuckers up. Now you'll notice that I'm hunting these fuckers down. It's very important to keep killing them, and there's going to be quite a bit of grinding in the game because it's important for you to be as high level as you possibly can be. Come over here and you can kick this ladder down. It's just a quick way to get up here. And I picked something up. I should have paid attention to what that was. Oh, a ring. Link of Fire and Sky. No, I already had the Link of Fire and Sky. The Link of Fire and Sky is another very important weapon. It nullifies magical imbalance. Now, if you go ahead and just use a spell, you'll see. Did you see that? Oh, hold on. You see that thing on the top of the screen there? That is magic imbalance. And what will happen is if you get that too high, if you use too much magic, it will start to kill you. Now, why did they put that in the game? I have no fucking idea. I wish they hadn't, because it's dumb. Once again, it stops you from being able to be a full mage. I don't know why developers like doing that. But I thought one of the biggest things about RPGs was being able to role play. I mean, it's called a fucking role-playing game. But I guess they wanted to force you to be able to do physical combat. So be careful of that. As long as you don't have the Ring of Fire and Sky equipped, it will damage you like that when you use magic. Obviously, jump around, kill that fucker, hit this motherfucker until he dies. Pretty simple shit right now because we're at the beginning of the game. Be careful about running out of stamina because it will hinder your movement. Bitch, I didn't tell you to get on that fucking ladder. To dodge those bats, enemies like that can literally just run the fuck into you and do damage. So the way to dodge it is just to obviously dodge it. Just roll around it. Because don't try to jump over them, because that is not going to work every time. Excuse me. You can see that we just picked up a stone cleric. That will give us a cleric in our actual sanctuary, but we will not be raising a cleric because fuck that. Miracles in this game suck ass. They're just inferior to spells in every way, so there's no reason to ever use them. And I'm not like saying that because I have a bias and I'm like, yeah, the spells are better because magic is better. I'm fucking serious. They suck. I've tried characters that use blessings or miracles. I think it's called blessings in this game. But they fucking suck ass. The offensive ones are really fucking weak. And the ones that aren't offensive, the spells that... Did you hear that? What the fuck was it? Oh, it was him. The ones that, the offensive ones that you can use don't do a lot of damage. And the defensive ones take way too much fucking stamina, and they actually if you look up at my stamina bar, you see how it's shortened and there's a little white bar underneath it. That is another limitation to magic. I don't know why the fuck they have such a strong hate boner for magic in this game, but what that means is, hold on, let me parry that fucker. Oh, well, I wasn't paying attention. There are several enemies that do that when you do a certain amount of damage, they go down and give you a chance to instantly kill them. Always take it, because it is such a lost opportunity to do that. You have the chance to instantly kill them when you use that stomp. And if you don't, it doesn't cut them down to half life. It kind of cuts them down to, like, I don't know, 60%, and then you can utilize that stomp. Always utilize it, because it will be Kraken, what are they called? Warriors later on, and there will be a fucking chore to fight if you don't utilize that stomp. The bandaged ring reduces the wounding effect. So getting back to the bars up there. With the stamina, it's called fatigue, when your stamina can't go up to 100% anymore like that. With health, it's called the wounding effect, which means that over time you will start to have your health limited. Both of them are extremely fucking bad, so obviously you don't want them. But you have to accept them. It's just a part of the game. It's a part of the game system. So the bandaged ring will lower the wounding effect, and there's another ring that there's two rings that we'll be getting in the game. One of them lowers the fatigue effect. The other one lowers the that little white bar you see. It allows you to use more of that white bar. When that white bar goes down completely, I will no longer be able to use magic. Why? I have no fucking idea. It's just a way to decide to make the game. It's stupid, but whatever. They just decided that was how it was going to be, and you don't have a choice. But yeah, if that white bar goes all the way down, can't use magic anymore. when it comes to magic, you can aim it for most magic spells, and you can aim it by using the left stick, but that also makes you run. So the better way to aim it is to use the right stick. So I'll use the right stick, aim over there, shoot a fireball in that bitch's face. Now he can't get you up here, but you want him to get closer because you don't want him and that fucker behind him to attack you at the same time. Be careful. I know it's shining, it looks interesting, but enemies can attack you through doors, and I also can attack him through a door. Fucker. There'll be an enemy that comes up here, a downed walker, a drowned walker. This is a mini sanctuary. So there's mini sanctuaries littered throughout the game where you'll just be able to light them, and they will give you the blessings of whatever god you worship. So if you see in my inventory slots right here, I now have something called the Water of Blessing. It's a gift from Devara that obviously heals you, and then it gives you a little bit of divine protection is what it says. Don't worry about what it is. It's just a healing item. Other than that, other than a healing item, it's a piece of shit, because there's a much better healing item that we'll be getting called the Orange File. I think that one is the much better one. So over here we get a Stone Blacksmith. If you go up here any further, you have to fight the game's first boss. We do not want to do that until we have built up 5,000 souls, and we have completely leveled up to a considerable amount. I can see that asshole over there. Fuck you. Dual hand sword. Fucking him up. Fucking him up. Fuck you, dog. Spray the blood. Now it looks like they're spraying blood, but every enemy in this game is not only made out of blood, they just kind of run off blood. Every creature here, including you, are made of salt. Why? I don't know. Salt is like the very essence of life. You think it'd be blood, but everything has blood. I think blood is more the physical manifestation of the essence of life, and salt is more the spiritual, the magic manifestation of life. And everything needs salt. There are things that don't have salt in the game. They are creations called the Saltless, and they are fucking assholes. They throw these fucking stupid jars that when they hit you, they kind of like, oh, by the way, to slide down there, you hold R2. When they hit you several times. It's fucking awful. Oh, hold on. Let me fuck you up. Alright, I killed him. Slide down here, jump over here, grab this. You can jump down, shoot that motherfucker in the head. The item. Oh, get over me! Fucking asshole. Got me through the ground. Okay. I knew that was going to happen. I should have paid attention. Okay, so the item I just picked up was the Journey Bottle. It's the item that allows you to place down bottles at areas. And it's basically Dark Souls' message system. It's Dark Souls' message system. I don't even ever bother using that. I mean, fuck that shit. I'm not fucking talking to these assholes. I don't wish to. I don't wanna. Fuck you. Uh-oh. See, there you go. You can do your aerial combo. But it takes all your fucking stamina, so it's not really a good idea to, like, utilize it. It's only really when you want to fuck around with the enemy a little bit. Fuck you, asshole. By the way, the fatigue effect, it doesn't just happen with magic. So, as I'm attacking, I think it has something to do with the amount of times you press the attack button. but over time, my stamina will start to go down, and it's like a narrative. It like boosts the narrative of the sanctuaries because they are places of rest and comfort and relaxation, and it makes sense from a story point, but it's more just of an annoyance when it comes to actual gameplay. So I wish they hadn't have done that, but it does make sense narratively because your sanctuary is your place of rest. So let me head in here. Pray to that bitch again. Oh wait, I can make some offerings. So you can only make 4 offerings in every sanctuary you have. So be careful about what decisions you make. Cleric is always useless. You're going to have a bunch of these fucking clerics because they're fucking worthless. Even if you're playing as a cleric, don't play as a fucking cleric in this game. There's no reason. Stone merchant and then a stone blacksmith. That, I'm pretty sure, is an NPC. I'll occasionally see NPCs run in and they'll fucking kneel down, and you'll see that quite a few times, but the loadout that person had does not look in any way, shape, or form like an actual player would have that, because the weapon they had was an extremely high-powered staff. I think it's like the strongest staff in the game, and there's no fucking reason why someone would have the strongest staff in the game and that shitty ass pair of armor that I'm wearing. That's the first sorcerer set. You know what I'm saying? So, greetings, traveler. Would you like to see what we have for sale? So, when it comes to your people that you bring into an area, if I was to switch to another god, these people are all people of the same faith. So, if I was to switch to another god and try to come in here, some of them sometimes will deny you the ability to work with them. So you got to be careful of that too. We got the bolt, we got arrows. I don't need any of this shit. Don't ever buy red shards. You'll get plenty of those by killing enemies, unless you really need them. Flintlock shot. This is if we had a pistol. And there are even guns in the game that are like gun blades. They're not like the most powerful, and they're more like just a novelty weapon, but you can have a gun that shoots a fucking that is a flintlock pistol at the same time. Now you can't hold a shield with it, which is fucking stupid. It just makes it worthless. But it's more of a, like I said, a novelty weapon. This guy allows you to take salt and upgrade either armor or weaponry, but you have to have obviously a lock of hair or something like that, which are particular upgrade items. I think he takes the memories out of that, say the lock of hair or a soldier's note or something like that, and somehow is able to craft that shit into a stronger weapon. How? I have no fucking idea. Fuck. I tried to show you, you have iframes when you're climbing. So if I jumped at the right time, I could have stopped him from being able to hit me. So if he was to shoot now and I climbed through that, I would have iframes. What the fuck? That's not supposed to... Oh god. Oh god, Mafia 3's glitchiness has followed me to Sanctuary, Sultan Sanctuary. Sultan Sanctuary usually doesn't have glitches. It's really fucking well done. And as far as I know, it's like a team, it's like a married couple team that did it. See? Iframe. He should have hit me with all fucking, you know, with all reality. He should have been able to hit me, but, you know. Touchy bitch. Damn, that second strike is really powerful. Get used to that beautiful blood and those awesome sounds, because it's going to be all throughout the game. Obviously, I'm not going to go and try and fight the boss with my health down. That's not a good idea. The first boss is called the Sodded Knight, and I don't know what the hell Sodded means, but he is dangerous. He has a big-ass great sword that you can actually get. It's pretty fucking cool. I never got his greatsword because I already had a greatsword at the moment. When I noticed that I can make his greatsword, I already had a greatsword that was much better. So I just decided I was going to go with what I already had. But his fight is really interesting for the first fight in the game. It's not a fight that's unfair. It's actually one of the best fights in the game because of how well mechanically designed it is. And trust me, there are plenty of fucking fights in this game that are not well mechanically designed. Oh, you best fucking believe. As much as I love this game, there are plenty of parts in it that I fucking hate. Fuck you. For some reason, when an enemy is dying like that, and it's only certain enemies, when an enemy is dying like that, you have the ability to, like, do a finisher. Now, it doesn't really do anything, I don't think. I think it's just about, and it's only certain enemies. But I think it's just about, like, showing off and being an asshole. And you want to know something crazy about this fucking game? This game has 2-player co-op, but guess what? It's only fucking local as far as I know. I have never, not fucking ever, been able to play this game with another person. Are you fucking kidding me? Why did that drop? Why did that shit out coins? It looked like a crow shit out coins all over my head. What the fuck? Like, I've not ever been able to play with another player, and I would totally want to do that. Even with the broadcast. I don't give a fuck. Did you see that? At the end of the fireball, if it doesn't hit anything, it will actually shoot. Like, it'll actually shoot, it'll explode in the direction of the enemy. And I'm glad that happened the way it did, because I just showed you that it will actually change directions to hit the enemy and kill them. Pretty fucking awesome. Now, yeah, I've seen this game played with 2 players, but I have played the shit out of it, and I have not found any way to activate a 2-player, you know, a 2-player mode. So I'm pretty sure it's only local co-op that you can play. But I don't understand how you would even do that, because as far as I know, there's no option, you know? I guess you would have to plug in another controller, but look, developers, don't be so fucking obtuse when it comes to mechanics in your game, okay? When it's stuff like that, you have to give the players notice. Otherwise, how the fuck are we supposed to know? We didn't make the game, guys. Break that fucking... That was an enemy. Oh, by the way, you will go throughout the game and you're going to find tombstones like that. You're going to find trees. You're going to find like weird constructions. And some of them are like, I guess they're not epitaphs. Some of them are basically representations of where a player has died. So if you break them, you'll get money. It'd be cool if you break them, you'll be able to invite a player to help play with you, you know, something like that. But not like that. I just picked up Mend. Mend is a class 1 prayer. There we go, prayers. That's what they're called. They're not called blessings or miracles. Mend sucks ass. It's fucking horrific. It takes so much stamina to do it. It's ridiculous. Look, the stamina cost is 40. It's fucking ridiculous. That is a lot of fucking stamina at this point. If I press R2, get to that, you can see I only have 80 stamina. So it would take 80 stamina, and remember, this game has a fatigue mechanic. So I would literally be not only costing myself half my fucking stamina, but I'd be also cutting a considerable amount of my stamina. Oh shit. It's a bad idea to use fucking prayers. And that's really strange because faith is such a big part of this game. Fuck you. Alright. Come on. So there are enemies later on. These are pretty simple enemies. You know, they just walk back and forth, they swipe at you, pretty easy shit. But a gamer who just started this might automatically try and go to the Sodden Knight. Don't fucking do that. You are not... What the hell was that? That was a glitch. That was a very fast jump. Fuck you. Hit you through the fucking wall. Hit you through the fucking floor. Hit you through the fucking floor, bitch. Yeah. Yeah, a gamer who was new at this game, like I did, would just immediately try to go to the Sodden Knight. Don't fucking do that. Like I said, get your souls up to at least 5,000 before you try the Sodden Knight, because that will guarantee that with those level ups, you're able to level up the amount of damage you do, and you'll be much more effective against them. Now, as for what I'm going to level up, that I'll have to see, because I'm not really sure. I'm not a player that that does the, you know, min-maxing and shit of your stats. I think that shit is way too fucking boring. But when I see something's really effective, that's when I care. That's when I'll pay attention. So that's why I use the great swords in the game, because other swords are just fucking worthless. I mean, other weapons are just fucking worthless. Like, at one point I did have a great hammer run, but the great hammers, there's not a lot of them, and they of course cost a lot of fucking stamina to use. Shut the fuck up. Stab you. There are some bosses in this game that I'm sure a Souls player would say, oh, that boss was easy, but it's only because that boss is well made and you are a good player. A lot of people in Souls-like games, they get their skill mixed up with difficulty. You know, when you know what you're doing, you can make a lot of this shit more easy than you think it would be. But that's because you know what you're doing. It's not because it's badly made or because it's too easy or some shit. One fight that always gets shit in Dark Souls 2, it always gets shit on, is the Prowling Magus fight. It's a fight in this game where you have to fight a congregation, Prowling Magus in the congregation, which is, the congregation is a bunch of NPCs, some NPCs that you've already come across, and then other NPCs that you haven't, but they're just basic NPCs pretty much. And then there's two bishops that shoot lightning bolts at you, and then there's the Prowling Magus itself, which uses dark magic. Now, this is one of the most interesting visually one of the most interesting fights in the game, right? Because you haven't seen this before. This creature is clearly some kind of fucking demon. It even uses hexes in the game, and hexes are like dark magic. They're literally dark in the game. They're literally like dark purple fucking balls of gray and white energy and shit. And this creature has a bunch of dried out husks as a congregation. And if you know anything about the Souls games, those husks are people who could not stop from going hollow. And usually when you go hollow for too long, you lose your fucking mind. You know what I'm saying? And the only way to stop from going hollow and losing your mind is to be strong enough to claim the souls of the other creatures around you. Now, some people are just not capable of this. They don't have the strength, they don't have the determination, they don't have the will, they don't have the skill. And the Dark Magus sees that and has taken advantage of that. So it has created a church where people who just can't cut it in this world, the world of the Souls games, they come to it for assistance. They come to it for help and to feel like they belong and that they're wanted somewhere. Because with the rest of the game, they're hunted down and constantly killed over and over and over again, even though they have no souls to offer. You know what I'm saying? The creatures that are killing them don't know that they don't have souls to offer. They're just saying, you're fucking, you know, you're another asshole. I'm gonna take your fucking soul. So, being too weak to defend themselves, they have joined this church of this demon that protects them. And I'm sure it also feeds on them. Now, does it feed on their flesh? Does it feed on the little bit of life essence they have left? I don't know. But I know that it has to. At some point, there has to be something that this creature is getting from these poor, you know, wretched souls that can't defend themselves from the world around them. It's such an interesting idea for a boss. And the way it was handled was really kind of lazy. You know, the Dark Magus doesn't really, the Prowling Magus doesn't really do much. I mean, if you call an enemy prowling, I'm expecting it to be jumping off the walls and crawling around, shooting fucking dark balls from its mouth. That could have been something that you did for the second half of the fight. At the first half of the fight, you fight the Magus and its congregation, and then you kill off the congregation, and the Magus loses its fucking mind. You know what I'm saying? And you could say that it felt some compassion, like surely it was eating these motherfuckers. Like perhaps maybe you go in a back room of the church and you find a bunch of dead, ripped up corpses. You know what I'm saying? Like clearly these motherfuckers were food. They were cannon fodder. Or they were fodder. But they did matter to the Magus. And so when you kill them, it loses its mind. It, like, if the bishops are still alive, it eats its bishops and gains the ability to use miracles with the electricity miracle. If they're not alive, it simply starts crawling all over the walls and it's fucking, you know, shooting balls out of its mouth and it's attacking you and doing something interesting. But unfortunately, that's not how they did that fight. They actually went about mechanically. The fight is really fucking lazy. Like, there's not much to it. The congregation doesn't really pose much of a threat other than to stun lock you to death. The bishops, their lightning comes at a good pace, so you're able to dodge it. And the Prowling Magus itself has what, like 2 attacks. It can use a hex ball and shoot at you, or it can use an area of effect attack and shoot at you. So it's not mechanically, it's not the best fight. But narrative-wise, it is one of the best. And for people who always want to look deep into shit, like the fucking Souls, like a lot of the Souls lorists want to, you think they would give a shit about that kind of fight. You know what I'm saying? That this is so interesting. But everybody derides that fight. In fact, it has found, well, everybody that I know, that I've listened to. In fact, I've found it on, you know, top worst boss lists all the time. And it's like, how? This boss is not bad. Mechanically, it's not the best, but it surely isn't fucking bad. Are you out of your fucking mind, dickhead? There are much worse fucking fights. Did you fight that motherfucker in the same game? In Dark Souls 2, did you fight that cheap-ass fucking, what was it? Royal Rat, not Viceroy, not the Viceroy Rat. Vanguard. It wasn't the Vanguard. It was one of the Royal Rats. It's an enormous rat that comes at you and it attacks you. And it has these rats in the beginning of the game where 4 of them run at you and they are just like coursing with fucking, I think it's toxic. They're either coursing with toxic or paralysis or petrification. That's what they have. So they can fucking petrify you, right? So it sends these 4 fucking rats at you in the beginning of the game, and if you attack them, even from a distance, the giant rat that comes from the top will jump off and attack you. Now this motherfucker is so fucking unfair. It's enormous. Fucking enormous. Okay? So it has the ability to attack almost across the entirety of its map. And it has, by the way, that bar up at the top there is obviously a poison bar. If you get hit, you know, enough times, you get poisoned. Pretty simple stuff. And the brighter part of it when the brighter part goes down, it disappears. So anyway, this fucking rat, man, he is so fucking unfair. Not only does he do a ridiculous amount of damage, but he attacks all the way across the screen in most times. And he has the ability to do shit tons of stamina damage if you try to block his attacks. So it's a terrible fucking fight. And then you, like, it's like they tried to replicate the Sith fight, you know what I'm saying, with some character you didn't give a shit about. Even the Sith fight was fucking annoying at times. But with some, you know, some nasty rat bastard you didn't give a fuck about. Why? I have no idea. I had to circle strafe so fucking much in that fight. There were times where, because he hit my shield, I couldn't attack because he did so much stamina damage. It was fucking ridiculous. And don't even try to get underneath him, because that doesn't work either. Fuck's sake. Alright, let's level up. So as you can see, I can level up multiple times. If you press triangle and square, you can raise the amount of salt you utilize to level up. So we'll go to level 10, utilize all that salt. Then we can go to the tree of skill, and we can start leveling up our skills. Now, we can choose any of these class 1 skills. We have 7 black pearls. You can't utilize, like, so you can't go immediately to class 3 armor, because you need the other subsequent classes of armor before you're able to go to class 3 armor. So you can't skip levels like that. I'd rather you could, because it's kind of stupid, but whatever. We want to do class 1 sword fighter because it allows us to start two-handing great swords, because we're going to need to do that. But we can't at this time, because, and the reason is, if something's grayed out like this, it has to be connected to something you already have for you to be able to utilize it. Now, since we don't have enough, like, we would have to sacrifice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to get the sword fighter. We're going to say fuck that and level up more of our magic, and just use more of our magic on that fucking asshole. Now, these are magic points as well. Enhanced magic. It will enhance the magic damage you do. Over here, you have renewed will, which it grants more of your maximum stamina. Whenever you see these thunderbolts, go after them, because you need a shit ton of stamina. It is always helpful. Augmented endurance, of course, you put a point in endurance, you get to hold more items. It ups your max equip load. Over to the right, you can see that number that keeps turning green and white. That is what it shows you, what you gain, basically. So pretty simple stuff, pretty good stuff. I can go over and get class 2 magic. Will I need class 2 magic? I probably will eventually, but at this time I don't. And don't get staffs, because you're going to have to... Well, maybe you should get staffs. Incantations are only the only useful thing. So no, don't get staffs. They're not fucking useful. Unless you want to play as a sorcerer, but I don't think that's a good idea at this point in the game. So actually I am going to go towards sword fighter, because I'll be enhancing my magic. And I get one more healing potion, a poultice pouch, and I can start leveling up into swords. And then over here I can go into the pikeman class. The pikeman class isn't really... Pikes are pretty fucking shitty in the game. They don't have very good stagger. In fact, swords have better stagger than fucking pikes. Ridiculous. But the good thing about this is it allows you to utilize reapers. Reapers are scythes. So this pikeman class allows you to use poleaxes, reapers, and spears. So any class 1 poleaxe, reaper, or spear I can use if I get this. Reapers are awesome because they do a lot of damage. They have the same amount of stagger as swords do, but they have more damage than swords. They also are heavier than swords, but you know they're really fucking badass, especially because we're about to get one early in the game. The assassin, that's with daggers. Daggers are fucking worthless. Don't use it. It gives you willpower though. It will boost your maximum stamina. Swords will boost your maximum strength as you level up in these swords. Pikemen will boost your maximum dexterity, and that's because these weapons are I think they're based off of that. They scale with that attribute most times. And then whips will give you more willpower as well. Whips are utterly fucking worthless. Even though you get whip swords in the game, they're fucking weak. They're a waste of time. Don't get this poultice pouch because you'll have plenty of poultices later on. So, we leveled up our magic. Class 1 shield. There is a Class 2 shield in the game that is the absolute best shield in the game. So we're going to put it into one of those, and I will see you guys in a sec.